I am Dr. Jamali. Discover and share true, amazing stories and narratives from around the world.
Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a story that honestly, it just completely transcends the ordinary. We're looking at the heartbeat that connected two families. And look, this isn't some fictional movie script. It's a real, documented journey of two families who found themselves navigating the absolute extremes of human emotion. It's a story about unimaginable loss, the literal miracle of modern medicine, and a kind of love that is so incredibly powerful it literally keeps beating. The real-world implications of this story are just absolutely profound. I want you to ask yourself something. What if you could hear her heartbeat again? It's honestly almost impossible to even wrap your mind around, right? Just imagine losing the person you love the absolute most in this entire world, your child. It's a darkness most of us can't even begin to fathom. But then I want you to imagine hearing that very same child's heartbeat again, not on a digital recording on your phone, not just a memory playing softly in your mind, but actually hearing it, beating strong, inside the chest of another little child. I mean, it sounds like Hollywood, doesn't it? But as we're going to see today, this actually happened. And honestly, by the end of our time together, the way you look at the entire concept of organ donation, it might be forever changed. So to really grasp the sheer magnitude of this story, we've got to start at the very beginning of our first path. We're talking about a bright, laughing little girl full of dreams. She was the kind of kid who didn't just walk into a room, she completely illuminated it. The source material notes that just one smile from her could literally change the whole atmosphere of a space. She was vibrant, deeply loved, and she had her whole wonderful life ahead of her. But then, without any warning whatsoever, tragedy struck. The absolute unthinkable happened. In just a matter of moments, her parents were violently plunged into every parent's absolute worst nightmare. Their beautiful daughter was gone. And look, there aren't just no words in the English language that can adequately describe that specific kind of pain. It's a crushing reality, because no parent should ever have to say goodbye to their child. 1. That singular number kind of perfectly illustrates the unbearable weight of what happened next. Just imagine that hospital room. It's suddenly become unbearably quiet. The kind of silence that literally rings in your ears. The doctors come in and they gently explain that while absolutely nothing could be done to save their daughter, something extraordinary was still possible. Her organs could save the lives of other children. Now, I really want you to think about having to make that one decision. You are in the absolute darkest, most devastating moment of your entire life. Most of us couldn't even imagine forming a complete sentence, let alone making a monumental choice like that. Yet, somehow, pushing through this unimaginable veil of grief, her mother made that one impossible decision. She whispered, yes. And that one single word, it was about to completely alter the fabric of another family's destiny. Because this story actually has two completely different paths converging. On one side, you have the sudden, heartbreaking silence of a grieving family's hospital room that we just talked about. But across the country, on the other side of all this, a totally chaotic, treatment-filled race against time was unfolding. A young boy's heart was actively failing. Every single day for him and his family was a terrifying race against the clock. His only hope for survival, a heart transplant. And his doctors had exhausted every available option. They'd tried all the medicines, all the advanced treatments, all the waiting. But without a donor, this little boy's future was rapidly slipping away. So you have these two families, thousands of miles apart, both trapped in hospital rooms, and both facing the loss of a child. And then, the agonizing silence of all that waiting was finally broken. The hospital has found a matching heart. Can you even imagine? That one single phone call completely changed the trajectory of this little boy's destiny, literally overnight. Imagine the shock, the tears, the sudden overwhelming rush of profound hope flooding into that hospital room. They've been waiting in sheer agony, watching their son slip away. And suddenly, salvation calls. The narrative instantly pivots, right, from waiting to this frantic, hopeful scramble. Because this matching heart, this incredible gift from a grieving mother miles and miles away, was finally on its way. Now, the sequence of events that followed it's nothing short of a medical miracle. Think of it in the actual rhythm of a heartbeat itself. Step 1, the monitor beeped. Step 2, one beat. Step 3, a new future. Surgeons worked tirelessly through the quiet hours of the night. We're talking about a highly complex operation lasting for hours, where every single second, every single heartbeat absolutely mattered. The old failing heart was removed, and that new tiny heart was carefully placed right into the young boy's chest. And then the entire operating room essentially held its breath. The monitor beeped. One beat, then another. a new future. The little boy survived. His miraculous second chance at life had officially begun. So, fast forward a few months. These two families finally agreed to meet face to face. The storm of the surgeries and that initial immediate grief had passed, leaving this new, highly complex reality. Just imagine the sheer emotional weight of this encounter. Two families meeting. Silence, tears, and immeasurable gratitude. I mean, neither family knew exactly what to say. How do you even begin to thank someone for giving your child life? And on the flip side, how do you meet the family whose greatest blessing was born directly out of your absolute greatest loss? When they finally walked into that room together, it was silent. The space was so incredibly thick with emotion that words were just entirely unnecessary. Everyone in that room just looked at each other, they smiled, and they cried, all at the exact same time, because the physical manifestation of their shared journey was standing right there in the room with them. But what's truly profound about this meeting is the incredible vulnerability of one specific request. 3 simple words: may I listen? Out of everything that happened that day, this was the moment that no one in that room would ever forget. The grieving mother, the one who had said yes on the darkest day of her life, reached into her bag and she pulled out a small stethoscope. And this wasn't just, your standard clinical stethoscope. Its tubing was wrapped in this cheerful giraffe-patterned sleeve. She looked gently down at the little boy standing right before her, and she asked, "May I listen?" He nodded. She stepped forward and carefully placed that stethoscope over his chest, right beside his surgical scar. And you guys, the entire room fell into a pin-drop silence. Nobody moved, nobody spoke a single word. And then she heard it. Lub, dub, lub, dub. Alive, still beating, the unmistakable, steady rhythm of her daughter's heart. She closed her eyes so tightly as she held that stethoscope to the boy's chest, and the tears just began to pour down her face. But as the story beautifully highlights, she wasn't crying because she was saying goodbye again. She was crying because for one incredibly beautiful, transcendent moment, she felt close to her daughter once more. That vibrant, laughing little girl was gone, yes, but her heart was right there, beating strong, giving life, pounding out this incredible rhythm of hope in that quiet room. Now, standing just a few feet away was the little boy's mother. And it's such a powerful contrast to witness. You have a mother's unimaginable loss and incredible sacrifice meeting another mother's immeasurable gratitude for her son's life. The boy's mother couldn't hold back her own tears either, because she knew deep down in her soul that every single heartbeat she was hearing through that stethoscope was a direct reminder of the incredible sacrifice made by the woman standing right in front of her. If that grieving mother hadn't found the immense courage to say yes, her own son wouldn't be standing in that room today. So we're looking at two very different mothers, one brought to this moment by unimaginable loss, the other by immeasurable gratitude. And yet, they are now forever connected, forever bound to one another by one single tiny beating heart. Which really brings us to the core of what we're talking about today, the greatest gift. It's when one family's darkest day becomes another family's brightest tomorrow. It's absolute proof that love does not end when life does. And really, this is the ultimate takeaway of this explainer. Love is just remarkably resilient. Sometimes, when a life tragically ends, the love left behind finds a new vessel. It finds another heartbeat, another smile, another chance to exist and thrive in the world. The profound act of organ donation, it's not just some medical procedure. It is the literal, physical transfer of life and love from one human being to another. It is arguably the greatest gift a human being could ever possibly give, taking the absolute worst moment imaginable and transforming it into a complete miracle for a stranger. We've covered a really deeply moving journey today. We've seen how a single word, yes, can echo all the way across the country and create an entire lifetime of tomorrows for a dying child. But I want to leave you with one absolutely crucial question to ask yourself. If one conversation about organ donation could save a life, who will you talk to today? Please don't let this just be a beautiful story you listen to. Let it be a catalyst. Just one simple conversation with your loved ones about your wishes could one day be the absolute miracle another family is desperately praying for. It could save one life, or it could save many. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Really think about that question and take action today.